I don't know, man. I look at this stuff and I look at where it's coming from, and that's really where I have the issue, is because it's not a left thing. It is a Jewish thing that's being pushed through the Jewish media. That's where they get these talking points.
Yeah. So my biggest thing, Dan, is they're always willing to call people anti-Semitic. I'm thinking the bigger question we should be asking everybody: why do you feel that I'm anti-Semitic? What happened during World War II? Why did that happen? Why is people pushing back on Jews? They're not asking the right questions. They just want to call people anti-Semitic.
Yeah, and like that there's some worldwide conspiracy that, you know, these people have been kicked out of 109 countries 1,030 different times.
Weird, huh?
So for the last 2,000 years, everybody just got together around the world. There's no phones, but everybody's like, oh, you know what? The Jews are the bad guys. Let's just persecute them. And then why did they let them back in the country? Because they got kicked out of countries. You know, they got kicked out of 109 countries, but they got expelled 1,030 times, which means they got accepted back in the country, kicked out again, accepted back in, kicked the fuck out again.
Yeah.
Right? So like, this is not
totally opposite of the blacks. Everybody wants the blacks. They're taking them as slave labor.
Well, yeah, speaking of which, I mean, I'm sure you guys know who is behind that.
Yeah. Yeah. It was,
yeah. So, and this is, you know, like Farrakhan, you know, lined this out in, you know, the secret relationship between blacks and slaves, or sorry, blacks and Jews. And he lines it out from like, you know, Jewish texts. This is, you know, all the slave ships, they were owned by Jews. You know, during the Jewish holidays, they shut down the slave trade. I mean, this is not something that, you know, is a conspiracy theory. This is something that you can, you know, look up and you see the
fact.
Yeah, the massively disproportionate amount of Jews that own slaves in the U.S. compared to just whites. Like whites, I think it was like 0.3% or something, and Jews was like 40% of them owned slaves. So like, you look at this and it's like, man, every time there's a fucking problem, it kind of all goes back to the same people.
Usual suspects.
Right? So it's like, man.
Jew activities.
Yeah, like how many times do you got to see a coincidence to start connecting fucking dots?
Yeah. Like, I'm like, you're not really like against Jewish people. You're against the Zionist. The Zionist supremacy.
No. I'm against Jewish supremacy. Right. And I think that's a very important thing to like articulate, because a lot of people say Zionist, and I think that gets confusing.
Okay.
And I'm not against all Jews. I'm not just saying, oh, all Jews are bad. But what I am saying is that they are causing a disproportionate amount of problems, and that I think Jewish supremacy is the issue. And I think it comes from their religion, this idea that they're better than other people, that they can steal from other people, that they can lie to other people, that they can rape non-Jews, that they can, you know, that if, I don't know if you're aware of this, but they have it in their Talmud. It says that if a Jew has sex with a girl that's under 3 years old, that it's the death penalty. But it's not the death penalty for the Jew, it's the death penalty for the 3-year-old girl, because she caused a Jew not to have sex with a minor, but to have sex with a non-Jew, and that's why you should kill the baby, because she caused him to sin, and the sin wasn't fucking the 3-year-old, the sin was fucking a non-Jew. So like, and I'm not making this up. I can literally read this to you word for word. I actually posted this on my fucking Twitter, and then they tried to like label as hate speech, and I'm like, this is a direct translation from your fucking Bible.
I have the clip. I have the right here.
What's that?
It says it right there.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. That is nuts.